My name's Neil Pendle. I'm the Managing Director of WaterScan. We specialise in providing cost-effective water solutions to commercial clients mainly. I'm going to present a short presentation on grey water recovery. We'll go into some technical details about how that's produced, but also we've got a couple of case studies which I think will be useful for you. Terry's already mentioned some of the industry drivers. He's talked about water scarcity, some of the things that Terry's been talking about, working with the Rainwater Harvesting Association for some time on. These would be things that you're very well aware of. What we're finding is when we're talking to our commercial clients, water scarcity, water footprint, these are increasingly issues for these companies. I recently spent a bit of time with Whitbread, and the main issue on their agenda for their energy team was their water footprint, not only looking at how much water they're using in their properties, but also looking at their supply chain water footprint. What we're going to cover is some issues about grey water. We're going to cover how it works and systems that we use in a commercial environment, particularly in the hotel sector. We'll also look at some case studies and some stats on that. We've got some useful guidelines to using grey water and how it can be combined with a rainwater solution, and how we've made some innovations in the grey water system to make it more energy efficient. And of course at the end we'll take some questions with Terry. So, grey water. We're talking about low polluted wastewater. This is mainly for showers, sinks and baths. Recently we've also been able to work successfully with things like swimming pool black flush. We've also done some work on commercial laundries. So it's possible to talk about quite a wide range of low polluted wastewater. What we're trying to do is clean up this water to such an extent that we're able to reuse it for non-potable, non-wholesome water uses. This would mainly cover toilet flushing, the same as the rainwater harvesting, but it could also do irrigation and also laundry and other such uses. Talking specifically about the hotel sector where we've got most data, this is a very interesting chart showing the water consumption in a hotel. This is actually a Premier Inn hotel. You'll notice that the dining kitchen usage is very small. This is simply because there isn't a restaurant in this particular hotel. The restaurant facilities are at the associated Beefeater next door. But you'll see that the shower and bath usage almost matches exactly with the toilet flushing. So we're talking about a system in a commercial hotel situation where this actually matches very well for grey water. In fact, if you can imagine a Premier Inn hotel, you can also see that they're usually 3 or 4 stories high, and actually the rainwater you get off a hotel is very minimal indeed, and it won't have an impact on your water footprint. So that's why we use the grey water. A little bit about the system. We use a 3-stage treatment process. This covers a pre-treatment stage where we effectively use as a settlement tank. A second stage where we use aerobic treatment, and this essentially is us putting in an aeration plate and pumping air through the water. This has the effect of reducing the organic load of the water. It's then transferred to the third stage, which is the real key to the system, the filtration tank. This uses an ultrafilter membrane, and it effectively very low energy usage, and it passes the water through across the clean water tank. We also have an aeration plate in there, and that provides extra cleaning for the membrane filter and ensures that we have longer life for the filters. In fact, we have a situation in Donkus where the original grey water system was installed 2 years ago, but that's only been exchanged once, and it's a simple matter of taking the filter out, exchanging it with a new filter. So it works very effectively. The final section is where we actually store the clean water for use in service. You'll see from this that actually we're storing quite a lot of water here. This system will deliver around 5 cubic metres of recovered water over a 24-hour period. The reason we're able to achieve the low energy status of this filter, this grey water system, is because we have that buffer volume. And the challenge from Whitbread particularly has been to try to reduce the volume in order to reduce the cost of this unit. And we'll see some of those innovations shortly. Just a short piece about the membrane we use. It's an ultrafilter membrane, so it'll take out bacteria, proteins and viruses, and it will give us some good water quality. What we're looking for, and the standard we use, is usually we take EC bathing water quality standards as a sort of a fixed standard for the quality and the performance of the system. And we certainly haven't had any problems in delivering that with this filter. Effectively, if the filter's blocked, then it won't pass any water through, so you've got a fail-safe in the system anyhow, so there's no grey water can go into the clean water tank. So we have to reduce the size of the tank volume to reduce the cost of the system. So what we've done is we've incorporated the filtration tank into a system tank. So all it means is that we've got a single point that can be built off-site to reduce the cost of installation, and it's very simple to put into an underground storage facility. So you have pre-filtration beforehand, clean water storage afterwards, and the system tank in between the two. In fact, these systems are also, we can also install them inside the buildings, we can install them above ground as well. It just depends on the circumstance. In fact, for most of our commercial clients, they would want the systems put underground. You just fit and forget, you can't see them. The real heart of the system is the water management units. This combines the grey water controls with aeration and air pumps with the water distribution control. So what happens here is if the system fails for any reason, there's no water in the clean water tank, then it will immediately switch on to mains water backup, so the customer won't see any difference in his toilet flushing. The systems also have remote telemetry units, so we're able to monitor them and change the controls if we want to, but also provides our clients with actual performance data on how much water we've actually saved. Just a short bit about and background to Whitbread. Whitbread have been a client of ours since 2005. They're the UK's largest hotel and restaurant company. Brands I'm sure you're aware of, things like Premier Inn, Beefeater, Costa Coffee. They've recently published some quite demanding carbon footprint targets. They've committed to reducing their operational carbon emissions by 26% by 2020. In addition to that, they've recently published their water footprint objectives, which reduces it by 20% by 2020. I think you'll agree these are quite demanding targets to set, but also that grey water forms a very important part of achieving those. Tamworth Premier Inn. This was opened just around a year ago. It was Premier Inn's first green hotel, and it incorporated a lot of energy savings as well as water saving measures. The grey water system here supplies 100% of the toilet flushing in the hotel and has done since its installation. It reduces the water consumption by 26% through the grey water recovery. They also have things like water efficient showers and taps and facilities like that. The unique part about this particular build is we combined the rainwater and grey water into a single system, and we were able to get the maximum efficiency of the system by doing this. What happens is if it rains, we shut the grey water system down because that uses a little bit of energy, and we use the clean water for the rainwater, and if there's no rain, then the system will switch on to the grey water and work like that. This is the site of Donkus. Actually in the picture you'll see the three manhole covers, just one of that's the system tanks. This was installed in November 2007. It's currently running a little bit better than Tamworth, simply because of the size of the hotel. It reduces water consumption by 28%. And since the system was installed, it saved 3,600 cubic metres of water. You'll see the other pictures, actually that's the aeration tank, and you can see actually that it's just a little aeration tank bubbling away. Okay, more generally, choosing grey water system. I think that because prices have increased recently, then grey water has become more viable. Some of the innovations we've talked about has actually reduced the impact of the energy consumption of a grey water system. These are actually quite low energy systems now. I think if you can combine good design and specification, you can get a good water recovery. It's pointless actually putting in a really big grey water system if actually your showers aren't running efficiently. That would make no sense. You do the whole lot together. I would try to target a 5-year payback for these systems, but I think in order to do that, you need to have the right circumstances. For the Tamworth site, it's slightly more than 5 years because of the size of the hotel. It's a very small hotel, but if you can combine rainwater and grey water, you can achieve some very good results. Just lastly, you are able to gain enhanced capital allowances on the grey water system. However, you must obtain a certificate of performance from DEFRA before the installation in order to do that. And so that's what we've done with Whitbread. Okay, in conclusion, we've worked very closely with Whitbread and the manufacturers to reduce the carbon footprint of these systems. They're water efficient, we've got to make them lower energy, particularly on the grey water side. The system at Tamworth currently runs at 1.2 kilowatt hours or 0.65 kilograms of carbon per metre cubed. And I think this effectively means that we're able to match some of the data we've got from the water companies on water treatment supply, water supply and wastewater treatment. So effectively we're looking at a system that has zero impact. You replace what you get from the water company with what you can recover from the grey water system. I would say that this is the data from Tamworth. It is a very small system, it's a very efficient system, and it does combine rainwater and grey water. I think more effectively, we're looking at a system that will operate around 2 kilowatt hours per cubic metre as a normal operation for a normal sized hotel.